What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's Filthiest Pitches of the Day. Remember, before we get to those pitches, hit that subscribe button. Be a part of the biggest and best daily baseball show on YouTube. And now, without further ado, here are my filthiest pitches of the day. I'm going to start with Sonny Gray, who had this slider and painted 93-mile-an-hour two-seamer on his way to 5 strikeouts in 5 innings, giving up only 1 run. Gray is an expert at tunneling, and I did this fastball and curveball overlay so you can see how well those 2 pitches tunnel. He faced Yusei Kikuchi, who had 4 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 2 earned runs. He had this fastball and changeup that wasn't a strike, but he'll take it. And here's an overlay of his fastball and slider, and you can see why that slider can be really effective. Ben Lively had 8 Ks in 6 2/3 innings. He gave up 7 runs, though, but he had this slider and 2 seamers. And he faced Jordan Montgomery, who threw 6 scoreless innings and had 6 strikeouts and had these nasty changeups. Sam Moll was the opener yesterday and had 3 Ks in his only inning of work thanks to his sweepers and fastballs. Merrill Kelly had 5 Ks in 6 1/3 innings, giving up 3 runs and had these fastballs, cutters, and curveball. And he faced Michael Lorenzen, who gave up 6 runs in 6 2/3 innings and had 3 Ks and had this changeup. Marcus Stroman had 5 Ks in 6 2/3 innings, giving up 2 runs, and he had this nasty slider and these dirty changeups. He faced off against Anthony DeSclafani, who had 2 Ks in 6 innings, giving up 2 runs, got 1 of those Ks on this slider. Tyler Glasnow was excellent yesterday with 6 strikeouts in 6 innings, giving up only 1 hit and 1 run. He had these absolute hammer curveballs and this wicked slider. And here's an overlay of his 97-mile-an-hour fastball with that curveball, and you can see how filthy that curveball is. It tunnels with his fastball and then has that vicious drop. Glasnow also had this moment where Margot makes this catch and Glasnow lets out a big "F yeah." I have a feeling Glasnow is going to end up on the IL because of this, due to grounding by his mom, because his mom already warned him about cussing on the mound without covering your mouth. How many times do I have to tell you, Tyler?
My mom texted me like, you gotta stop cussing on TV, like cover your mouth or something.
Garrett Whitlock had 6 Ks in 6 1/3 innings, giving up only 1 earned run, and he relied on this filthy mix of changeups and sliders. He matched up against Garrett Cole, who had 6 Ks in 6 innings, giving up 2 runs, and really relied mostly on his overpowering fastballs. Yu Darvish had 6 Ks in 5 1/3 innings, giving up 4 runs, and he had these 6 sweepers, this nasty slider, and this fastball. Rich Hill, aka Dick Mountain, painted with his fastball and had this curveball on his way to 6 strikeouts in 7 innings, giving up 2 runs. Ranger Suarez had these fastballs, including this painted one, as well as this curveball and changeup, and had 8 Ks in 6 innings, giving up 1 run. Tyler Wells had 4 Ks in 6 2/3 innings, relying mostly on his nasty changeups. Josiah Gray had 6 Ks in 5 innings, giving up only 1 run, and had these dirty breaking balls. He faced A.J. Smith-Shawver, the 20-year-old rookie, who had 2 Ks in 5 1/3 innings, giving up no earned runs, and he had this slider and elevated curveball for a sword. Dylan Cease had 7 Ks in 6 innings, giving up only 1 run. He relied on his usual mix of sliders, curveballs, and fastballs, and it jumped out at me that this slider looked just like his slider did last year when he dominated, so maybe Cease is getting his stuff back, because when he's on, that slider is one of the best in baseball. Cease battled Eury Perez, another 20-year-old rookie, and honestly, Perez could have been my filthiest pitcher of the day. His stuff is disgusting. He had 6 Ks in 5 innings, giving up only 1 run, and had these vicious curveballs and sliders, including this back foot slider. And his stuff works really well together. Here's an overlay of his fastball, changeup, and slider. And you can see how he could basically throw those pitches down the middle and let the movement take over. Perez has an amazingly high ceiling and is gonna be an ace. His ERA this year is now 2.17. In the premier matchup of the day, Shohei Ohtani faced off against Luis Castillo. Ohtani had 6 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 3 hits and 3 runs. And you can see he started off the game pretty frustrated because he gave up a home run in the first inning. But after that, he settled down and shut Seattle down with his mix of splitters, curveballs, and painted fastballs. And of course, his sweeper, including this one that broke 17 inches. On the downside, he almost got his interpreter, Ippei, killed on this foul ball. You can hear Shohei yell to warn the dugout, and then stare at the dugout like, I was like a foot from having to do all these interviews all by myself. And as the king of the pitchers who rake club, he also dominated at the plate. He had a single, a double, and this gargantuan home run, and was only a triple from the cycle. Ohtani battled yesterday's filthiest starting pitcher, Luis Castillo. Castillo had 10 strikeouts in 6 innings, giving up only 3 earned runs, which means he won the daily strikeout leader prop bet at FanDuel. Castillo relied on his nasty mix of fastballs and sliders. Not as many changeups in this outing, he only threw 8. My favorite moment from this game, and one of my favorite moments of the year, is when Castillo K's Trout on this slider, and then does his patented fist bump K strut, and turns to Ohtani and smiles, like I just K'd Mike Trout, but as for you, you've hit a single double and home run off me already. I can't really get you out. And Ohtani just shrugs back and gives this sheepish grin, like, I know, I'm the unicorn, and there's nothing you can do about it. A freaking classic. Now onto my filthiest relievers. Adbert Alzolay had this slider and fastball and got a save. Shelby Miller had this slider. Tom Cosgrove had this White Castle special. Alex Vesia had these 3 Ks and got fired up progressively each time. I love a fired up Alex Vesia. Sam Hentges had these hammer curveballs. Mark Leiter Jr. had this splitter and 2-seamer. Raisel Iglesias had these changeups, and I did an overlay of his fastball and changeup, so you can really see how that changeup gets you with the velo difference. As a hitter, your swing is on time for a fastball, and if you get that changeup, you're just a little bit out in front. Matt Brash had this wicked slider and fastball. Joan Duran had this vicious curveball and overpowering 101-mile-an-hour fastball. Felix Bautista, the Mountain, had these flames. Aroldis Chapman had this 101 to 103-mile-an-hour pure diesel. But my filthiest reliever of the day yesterday was Jose Alvarado. El Diablo is back and as good as ever. With his 100-mile-an-hour fastball and absolutely disgusting cutters. At 95 miles an hour with that movement, these cutters are impossible. Welcome back, El Diablo. And now, my pitching ninja moment of zen. I love this face swap from Codify Baseball, putting Killian Murphy's face on Tyler Glasnow, and it looks pretty damn good. But it brought back bad memories of when I tried to get Tyler Glasnow to say, by order of the Peaky Blinders. A total ninja fail.
Okay, so can you give me like a by order of the Peaky Blinders?
No, I can't. Maybe one time I'll pass for today.
What is up, everybody? My picks of the day today are a 3-leg parlay. I'm going to start out with Kodai Senga for 6 Ks or more, then take Bobby Miller for 6 Ks or more, and top it off with Michael Kopech for 6 Ks or more. What would your picks of the day be?